I wish the church knew everything that we know about our socially responsible investing program. We have an entire team at Wespath, our sustainable investment stewardship team, that's focused on this every day. We strive to be an investor of $26 billion in assets under management. That doesn't belong to us, it belongs to the people that we're charged to care for. But we're the steward of those assets. And as John Wesley charged to be a careful steward, we invest in a way that is, number one, sustainable from a financial perspective. We know the world is changing. We know globalization, climate change, demographic shifts mean that we have to be an aware investor, and we have to be looking to the future constantly. And we're sure that a lower carbon economy is in our future. So not just from a values perspective, but from a financial perspective, we know that it's the right thing to invest in a way that seeks to shift companies' behavior toward that lower carbon future, toward that more sustainable economic framework that preserves prosperity for all. So it focuses on human rights for everyone, on labor protections, on diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we're a thoughtful investor in those areas. And what the beauty of it is that even from our finance lens, it makes sense to do what the social principles call us to do, and that is to do good in the world, because it has a double bottom line. It has the effect of giving us better returns in addition to making the world a better place. We sort of frame it in a three-part mantra of sorts. Invest, engage, and avoid. Invest is we look to positively invest in various positive social purpose programs. We have, since 1990, we've invested over $2 billion in affordable housing and community development in all 50 states. It's one of the things that I'm most pleased with about working at Wespath. I've been there 20 years, and it gives me sort of incredible fulfillment and joy and purpose that we do these things. $80 million or more in microfinance loans in the developing world to people who are starting a small business. That all gets a good market return for our participants and our investors. Engaging, I've talked about that a bit already, but we are the holder of securities in thousands of companies across the globe, and we vote our proxies, meaning as a shareholder we get votes on certain things to influence their behavior in a positive way, to support human rights, to support labor protections, to support safety. We also join coalitions. I mean, we have $26 billion in assets, but we're small compared to the entire financial markets. But when we join with hundreds of other investors in the Climate Action 100 or the Net Zero Asset Owners Alliance or the 30% Coalition for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, then we bring trillions of dollars to influence companies to change their behavior. And then the third pillar is avoiding. And that's the one we sort of look to as a last resort. We avoid, exclude certain investments that don't align with long-held United Methodist values. We avoid tobacco, alcohol, firearms, private prisons, things like that. But we also exclude selectively when there is financial risk involved. Several years ago, we excluded thermal coal companies. We saw that as sort of a dead-end stock, an abandoned stock. It would lose value. So we excluded it in 2015, and it was prescient. Those stocks lost value. And that was because there was that financial risk, because we know that the world is moving to different energy sources. So those are the things I would want people to know about our sustainable and socially responsible investment program. And I see it, and several people who once they hear more about it, realize that it's a powerful ministry of the United Methodist Church.